that going. And with that, so I will introduce myself. My name is Maggie Cardosi, and I'm the regional manager for North America at University College Cork. I'm based in Western New York, so I am right in your backyard or close enough. And I'm here as a resource for you. I'm an extension of the international office over here on this side of the Atlantic. So, any questions that you as a student or you as a parent have for me as you're navigating this journey over from one side of the pond to the other and navigating the transition from high school to college, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. And I've spent now probably about 16 years of my life traveling back and forth from the US to Ireland, either as a student, as somebody who's just going on holiday, or as a professional. So it's somewhere that I love to be. And I'm more than happy to share my experience or advice about all those travel things or connect you with my colleagues um, in UCC to help you. Um, so with that, we have, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have just a few formal slides that we'll go through um, just to kind of get things started. But we also have a couple of current students with us today to share their experience of studying at UCC. So we're going to hear from them as well. And again, besides myself, we have Colette Coughlin from the College of Arts, Celtic Studies, and Social Sciences, and then Ruth O'Mahony, who works in the international office. And between certainly the three of us, we can do our best to support you either when it comes to learning more about academics or learning more about student supports and navigating student life. So that's what we're here to talk about today. Um, yeah, I covered that. We won't go over that again. But I think what I will do really quickly is just talk a little bit about what to expect in terms of the timeline and, what to start thinking about before you arrive into Cork. Because I think, while there certainly are a lot of similarities in the education system between the United States and Ireland, some of the timeline, there's some differences when it comes to when things happen and when to expect things. And then when it comes to sort of pre-arrival information, we'll kind of prep you for what you should be thinking about now and what you can wait to think about later. Um, so actually, first up, I'm going to actually kick it over to Colette. I'm going to just reverse that. I'm going to kick it over to Colette. And Colette, could you actually speak a little bit about the College of Arts and what the academics look like? I know you sent me some slides, so I'm going to pull those up for you here in just a second. All right. But if you want to start talking through what you'd like to talk about, we'll
Yeah,
start from there.
absolutely. So I know tonight we have number of students coming for a few different programs. As I said, we have in total about 18 degrees within our college. So I know we have representation here from a few different programs. So what I'll do is just chat through just top line some of the things about the college and some of the particular programs, but happy to provide additional information after the call. So just to give you an overview, so the University College Cork is ranked in the top 1.1% of the universities in the QS World University Ranking. So you are coming to a top university in the world for your academic teaching and learning. Within our college, we have a number of programs that are highly ranked. So, firstly, in our School of English and Literature, it's ranked and consistently ranked in the top 150 in the world. So, our academics and professors in the School of English are all writers, poets, playwrights, and consistently, I suppose, having a lot of their work research published, and they're winning grants as well. Similar in the School of Languages, Literature and Culture, that's ranked in the top 200. For anyone studying languages, and I know we have a few students here for world languages, we offer 11 languages in our college. So it's the largest number of any Irish university. So you can study all the European languages and Asian languages. And then also within our theatre, so our theatre is ranked in the top 100 in the world. And for anyone that is familiar with Cork or it's new, Cork is really a cultural hub in terms of film festivals, theatres, music festivals, and it's very interlinked with the University College Cork. In fact, a lot of the teaching takes place in venues within Cork City, so there's a great connection, and students also in turn with our film festivals and theatre festivals and work with the music departments as well. So in terms of the overall, the college, as I said, 10 schools within the college, so it is the largest. And really what I would highlight with this slide is just to kind of say I suppose the diversity of learning that you'll get in our college. So very much research-led teaching with academics winning top awards, multi-million euro awards for their publications and research, but also practitioner-led teaching. You'll see a lovely picture there in the middle of what's the Artist in Residence. So this is a unique partnership with the Arts Council of Ireland. So we have a dedicated professional working with, for example, our film, music and theatre, our School of English, and also our languages. And that can be a film producer, a film director, and they work with our students to give master classes and be there as a touch point and mentorship for our students. We have dedicated work placement, which is provided in many of the degrees that some of you are picking. You can actually choose anything from 4 weeks right up to 6 months, up to 1 year, whether it's government and politics, our digital humanities and information technology, or psychology and computing. Also, we've a lot of industry lecturers that joined for master classes. And on the top right, you'll see a beautiful music studio, which was created a number of years ago. So we have a really excellent creative arts, performing arts in our college. And this music studio is a really hub for any students who want to create and produce their own music as well. So that is just a quick overview. For students that have picked the Bachelor of Arts, so this is our liberal arts program, the 3-year program, and I just wanted to highlight that it has 30 subjects and offerings for you. You actually don't have to pick any subject before you arrive onto campus in September, and in fact, you can actually join any of the subject lectures throughout your first couple of weeks on campus, and you can chat to the professors and decide which subjects you most like. But really the premise is you'll pick 4 in year 1, and you can only pick 1 from each box. And then at the end of year 1, you can actually pick 2 of your favorite. So just to let you know, there's no obligation to pick them before you arrive. And as I said, you can chat to myself or any of the professors about your combination of which you like. But as you can see, there's a great diversity. Many students like perhaps like politics and English, sociology and music, or also computer science and for example, geography as well. So a huge variety. You get to curate your very own degree. And for any students then that have decided to study our Bachelor of Arts International, you have the lovely chance to go abroad, even though you will be studying abroad in year 3. So this will be a 4-year degree. So year 3 will be spent abroad in one of our partner universities. And it is all organised within the college for you. We have a programme director who will support you in all aspects of this study abroad year. So at the end of first year, you'll decide kind of which area, which country you would like to go to. As you can see here, there are a number where you can actually study in the foreign language that you might be studying at University College Cork. So you'll study the modules in that foreign university and get your credits back to University College Cork. Alternatively, we do have partner universities which are English speaking. So again, you'll study your modules there and you'll come back and get the credits to University College Cork. It's a great, fantastic cultural experience. The program directors see a huge difference with students that they come back into their fourth year at University College Cork, having lived abroad, and you really, I suppose, meet loads of new people and another new culture as well. So that's just to highlight that, but huge supports along the line to help you decide where you want to go. A big thing in our college is integrating work placement and internship into your degree in the humanities and social science. And we do know that there is great feedback from employers for students with a liberal arts degree in terms of the transferable skills. So we really place a huge emphasis on really empowering you with all the skills that you can see there, so that you are really well equipped in your future career. So, as I said, we've had great industry partners. We work closely with a lot of different companies, and they do come and seek graduates or students from our college to work with them. As I said, whether it's 6 months, a full year, some of them are paid placements, and also a lot, for example, with the digital humanities and information technology. That's a 1 year dedicated work placement. For early years and childhood studies, you'll be working closely in a school environment, and that's all organised by work placement and the school. So huge supports for you. And just finally, we really, this is the adjunct professor for film and screen media. So Lord David Putnam lives in West Cork, not too far from Cork City. And he is an adjunct professor at the university, but a big advocate for studying the arts and humanities. So just wanted to finish with his quote.
Awesome. Thank you, Colette. So I'm going to reshare my screen and we'll talk a little bit about kind of what to expect in terms of the timeline and what you should be thinking about now as opposed to what you can maybe save your energy for a little bit later. But again, bear with me. It's not like I haven't been sharing my screen for at least the last 5 years. So 1 second. Um, Here we go. Awesome. Back again. All right. So a couple things that you may want to kind of be thinking about. So first up, kind of what to expect in terms of looking ahead, for the summer and into the fall. So as we said, so in May, tuition deposits are due by May 1st. So if you haven't already done that, you have until May 1st to do so. And in the in-between time between now and then, any questions that you have, again, please feel free to utilize myself, Ruth, or Colette as a resource. We're happy to answer any questions that you have. And kind of talk through and any questions or issues that you have until that time. In June, so I'll talk, and actually I might, when I get to the next slide, I might have Ruth talk a little bit more about this process because she knows a little more than I do. But just generally speaking, in terms of housing, we're going to send those forms out. Um, in June or by June, the form that you would fill out to state your intent for campus-based housing, those will be sent out by June. And then in July, your actual campus housing assignment will be given to you or thereabouts. But generally speaking, housing as well as class registration takes place a little bit later on in the summer than what we may expect from universities here in the United States. So if it gets to be June, and you haven't received something yet, don't worry too much. We'll try to give you a better idea of when exactly to expect certain things. But if you're nervous, feel free to reach out, but you likely haven't missed much. In August, that's typically when class registration starts. And then also the first installment of your tuition payment is due by then. And then in September, that is going to be your arrival to Cork, orientation, and the beginning of the fall semester. And on a further slide, along with the resources around a few things that we'll discuss in the next slide, I also have contact information as well as the list of key dates for the semester that you can take a look at to start planning your journey. So when it comes to a few different things, we're going to touch on a couple of FAQs around housing, health insurance, immigration, and finances. But Ruth, if I might have you pop in to talk a little bit about housing and how that process works for students from the United States coming to study at UCC, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know this year that Kira, who's our undergraduate admissions officer, she is doing it really on a weekly basis now at the moment, sending out that link. So as soon as you've accepted your offer, you should get that housing link the next week, hopefully. So as soon as you accepted your offer, you'll get an email from UCC Apply. It'll have a housing link. Just fill in your details, and then our accommodation office will find you housing. So you're guaranteed housing, okay, as incoming first year students, international students. So they will contact you directly. So Res Services, which is the email for our housing office, will contact you directly with your housing offer. And you'll get a link then to fill in the form with campus accommodation, and they will send you all the details then. So that will be coming to you, I would say, kind of April, May. You should get your offer. So keep an eye on your emails. And when you're, not to make things too complicated, but when you're filling out the campus accommodation link, we would say if you can use your private email address. So we did have a few, I suppose, challenges last year with students that had used their high school email address and then they'd no longer access to it and they weren't seeing the emails. So when you get your offer for housing, just if you can use your personal email address. And I know that some students as well would have gone into the campus accommodation lottery separately from the housing placement form. And I know that's been very confusing for students. So if you've gone into the campus accommodation lottery and you got an email yesterday to say that you didn't get an offer, that's completely separate to our placement service. So you'll 100% get an offer. It will more than likely be in campus accommodation. If you were accepting your offer much later down the line, then it would probably be in one of the other private student complexes. But if you're accepting your offer within the next 1 or 2 months, you should definitely get placed in campus accommodation. So,
Awesome. Thank you, Ruth. You put it so much more
yeah.
nicely than I can. So that's great. And we can definitely talk a little bit more about that if you have any questions specific to your own situation. But
Or
I'll move
pop it in
on.
the chat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Maggie. Yeah, if you want to
Oh,
pop
yeah,
something in
yeah.
the chat as well. Yeah,
Yeah. And Ruth, if you don't mind keeping an eye on the chat for kind of questions around the student
absolutely.
supports, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So next up, so when it comes to health insurance, you do need to show proof of private health insurance, and your U.S. insurance plan may satisfy this. There are some parameters when it comes to what we have listed on the immigration site. Um, about what is required for insurance. So you can check to see that your US insurance plan satisfies that. You may also choose to purchase a private plan in Ireland. And we do have some recommendations on our student support page for different health insurance companies within Ireland that would have plans that are quite popular with our students. And when it comes to immigration, so the big thing that I do want to say is that you do not need an entry visa to come to Ireland, and this is quite different from maybe our neighbors a bit to the east in the UK. But if you're a citizen of the United States or Canada, you don't need an entry visa. You really don't need to be doing anything until you step foot on Irish soil. And once you do that, you will have typically within 30 to 90 days to then make an appointment with immigration services in Dublin to then get your residency permit for the year. It's about €300, and there are a few different checklist items that you would have to satisfy that we do have listed on our immigration website. Once you get your permit, that will be your permission to work part-time if you'd like to, as well as travel into and out of Ireland for the calendar year. So you just make sure that you do that. But again, you don't need to do that until you arrive into Ireland. And Ruth will have some really lovely sessions, both online and on campus. Am I right? At some point over the summer and
Yeah,
definitely during orientation.
yeah. So we'll do loads of pre-arrival webinars before you come, and then I'll do a session with you in person then when you're here. Um, usually the first week of term, or probably just before you start, I'd say. So we'll do an in-person session as well
Yeah.
around immigration.
Yeah. So basically, this is just a taster to kind of get you thinking about some things, but we will definitely reiterate this information further down the line over the summer and right before or during the start of term. The last thing I want to touch on is just a little bit about finances. So when it comes to tuition, this can be paid in two installments. One would be due at registration in August. The other would be due in January before the second semester. Housing payments are made separately. That is something that could be a little bit different from US universities. So those you would pay your housing complex directly. And if you are looking to utilize FAFSA loans, like loans from the United States, those can be utilized at UCC as far as we know, and those can be used toward both tuition and living costs. And we do have a resource on navigating the FAFSA via UCC that will be on kind of the list of resources that I will send to you when I follow up with you, if not later this evening, then at some point tomorrow morning. So rest assured, we will have that. Um, so again, just a little taster of things to think about to kind of get the conversation going. And this is this list of resources that I mentioned. So I have links to information about kind of traveling to Cork, health insurance, the accommodation website, immigration, the list of semester dates, and a little bit around cost of living, how to pay your fees, and the information that we currently have on US federal aid. I also have a list of contact information for everyone from myself to Colette, our non-EU admissions team. If you haven't received your housing form yet and you put down your tuition deposit or you haven't yet, also, if you have any specific questions about your UCC application that you need answered, our non-EU admissions team can help you with that. And then I have Ruth's email at the student support address for any continuing questions about what we've discussed around student supports. So I'll send that over to you definitely by tomorrow. So just wait and see. But what I want to do now actually is kick it over to the students who have joined us. If you guys wouldn't mind coming on to camera and mic and introducing yourselves and telling us a little bit about where you're from, what you're studying, and also what attracted you about coming to Ireland and choosing UCC. So you can, whoever wants to jump in first, you're more than welcome.
I know it's Keely. Do you want to join first?
I think,
Yeah,
oh,
sure. Or wait, sorry. Who's going first? Am I going first?
sorry, I think Audrey started talking there.
Oh,
Audrey, did you?
sorry.
No, you're fine. I think you were on
No,
mute.
sorry. My mic wasn't on. I
Oh,
totally
okay.
forgot. So no, you can go ahead. You can go ahead. Sorry about that. So I am going first?
Go
Okay.
for it.
Um, I'm Keely, as you can see from my name on your screen. I I'm actually kind of representing two subjects because I'm in theater, but I'm also in archaeology. And honestly, I can't quite remember what exactly attracted me to UCC. It was 3 years ago now. Um, but I remember just wanting to get out and have an adventure. And Cork seemed like a really good place to do it. It is, the town is, it's nice, it's welcoming. Uh, yeah, that's it for me.
And where are you from, Keely, originally?
Oh, right, sorry, I'm from Oregon.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go next. Sorry about my mic. But my name's Audrey, and I'm currently from Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm wanting to study film and screen media. And what attracted me to Ireland and UCC the most was um, Cork to me has a lot of uh, the film culture of it um, is amazing. And I think that's what really attracted me the most. And specifically, the International Cork Film Festival, which I've seen a couple of short films. And that to me was really kind of that kind of gateway to, oh, I want to check this out. And I really want to see because I see such beautiful creations. And it's been really awesome. And also with not just film but also screen media as well, which also opens another gateway of incredible opportunities.
Great. Well, thank you both for joining us. I know it's a bit late, so I appreciate you coming on.
So Olivia, I think I know you have
Oh, I'm
you're a
sorry,
little
Olivia.
Olivia has a little sore throat, but you're going to
Yeah,
join and say a little bit about the program you're studying.
yeah. So my name's Olivia. I'm from Texas, and I'm currently in my second year in the Early Years and Childhood Studies program. And what attracted me to Cork was I visited about 2 years ago now, and I loved the campus and I loved the people. So I decided to transfer from my American university into my second year here.
Awesome. Thank you, Olivia. And thank you so much for joining us, even though you're a little under the weather, and it's late. So,
Of
all
course.
three of you, we really appreciate it. So if I could ask, if you could tell us a little bit about kind of your daily life, how much time are you spending in class? What are you doing outside of class? Where are you living? Um, share away. And Keely, I'll pick on you first again.
Okay, great. I can do that. So a day in my life pretty much consists of class, um, obviously. Um, I spend, I don't know, average of, I guess my lightest day would probably be 3 hours, and my heaviest day of classes is about 6 hours. But I'm taking a large course load this semester, so you might have a bit less than I do. When I'm not in class, I am usually hanging out at a coffee shop with some of my friends, or I'm in the library studying, or because I'm a theater student, I'm in the theater hanging out with the technicians there, sometimes helping out with shows just apart from class. Uh, yeah, and then, I also do some clubs and society stuff. So I'm part of the Taekwondo club. I'm also part of the Dramat Society, which is the theater society. So in the evenings, I'll be probably doing one of those two. Yeah.
And then Olivia, I think.
Perfect. So I actually don't have any classes on campus this semester. And I won't in the fall as well. Since I am in my second year, I'm doing work placement for this semester and the fall semester. So right now I'm currently working with kids with disabilities close by to where I live, which is slightly off campus, but still close. So that's where I spend 5 days a week from 9 until 3. And then I also have a part-time job as well at a restaurant. So I'm usually working either at the school or at the restaurant, or I'm hanging out with my friends around town and doing stuff like that, as well as coursework, because we still do have coursework. I just have no classes. So yeah.
And Olivia, do you want to say a little bit just about the diversity, maybe of the modules that you studied in first year of early years and childhood studies? Because I know we have some students from the US who are coming to study that. So I know you have the placement at the moment, but year one was more in the classroom.
Yeah, so we had an amazing variety of classes last semester. I actually took a drama class that was required for my course, having to do with kids and how to integrate the drama part of how kids can learn from drama and stuff like that. In the classroom, we had classes. I know I wasn't here for first year, I was in America, but I know that they had a lot of psychology classes first year. We had a class on disabilities and as well as like a class about children's well-being and safety, safeguarding children. So it was very informative. We had workshops with our supervisors as well, which was really helpful because it's more one-on-one. I was in a group of about, I would say, 20 students, and we got to work with the teacher and ask questions about our seminars and stuff like that, which was really helpful. And I loved, it's very different to America where we all had our classes set out for us, at least in my program, and they were all very diverse and really interesting, kind of covered all sorts of topics having to do with children. So it was very interesting.
Excellent. And I threw this into the chat, but if you have any questions for our current UCC students, feel free to come onto camera or onto mic to ask those. You can also pop those into the chat. But I'll maybe ask you folks kind of, what would you say, what is something that you found surprising about kind of the transition of coming from life in the US over to Ireland or Cork? And pop in. I don't like picking on people, so you decide who's going to go first.
I can go first. I think I found it surprising how welcoming people are here and just like in general, I've found that a lot of Irish people are very friendly, and I was kind of nervous coming in because I did have a couple friends that I had met when I first visited, but I think everyone I met was super excited to talk and just very friendly. And I've had an amazing experience at UCC. I made loads of friends in my course, and they're all wonderful. And yeah, so I think it would be how friendly and outgoing people are in general. Yeah.
That was a great answer. Now I'm going to give kind of a silly answer. I found the food to be very different. Uh, just in general of, what you can get and what sort of restaurants and cuisines there are. Um, so, maybe if you have some comfort snacks from home that are specifically that you can only get where you are, maybe bring those. For me, I did that. It helped sort of ease the transition a little bit when I missed home. It is a bit silly, but that's what worked for me.
No, I think that's a great piece of advice. I mean, it's been a little while since I was a student, but one of the things that I didn't expect to, kind of have to take as much of my mental energy as it did was food and grocery shopping. But which is to say, like, there are plenty of places to go shopping. There will be kitchens in your apartments. There aren't meal plans on our campus. So that is something that is a little bit different about the Irish system as opposed to the US system. But that said, there are plenty of options. I also actually found that groceries weren't as expensive in Ireland as they were where I was living, which to be fair was New York City. So things are quite expensive there. But so that said, kind of where do you guys go grocery shopping, or where would you recommend, for students that are kind of maybe for the first time looking to, shop for themselves or make their own meals? Like, how did you navigate that, and what advice would you give to the folks we have on the call today?
I guess I can go first for this one. I usually do about one big shop a week because there's smaller shops like Centra or Tesco Express, but there's some bigger sort of supermarkets either in town or if you live out by Victoria Cross, there's some options there. There's Aldi, there's a bunch of different options. Some of them are slightly cheaper than others or in different locations, but honestly, there's a lot of access to food because you're going to be close to the city no matter what. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. There's a Tesco Express right near me as well as a Centra, but I do prefer shopping at Little because it is slightly cheaper and you can get loads of veggies and stuff. And I like to sometimes when I'm really prepared, I'll meal prep for the week, which is really helpful. I think it's honestly pretty hard cooking for one person. I didn't realize how hard that would be, but if you plan it out, it's a lot easier.
Mhm. And I would say too, and actually, when it comes to navigating your way around the city, how do you do that? Do you walk? Do you cycle? Do you use the bus? All three? How does that work?
I can go first for this one. I tend to either walk to work or take the bus. There's a lot of public transportation here, which is a huge difference because in Texas there's absolutely none. So it's been wonderful to be able to hop on a bus and get to a lot of places. The only thing I'll say is that while there's a lot of accessibility and access to all sorts of areas. You can take the train anywhere. The buses are sometimes a little unreliable. So if you're trying to get to somewhere on time, just make sure you leave time for that. But I can walk into the city in like 20 minutes and I can walk to work in about 40 minutes. So it's kind of nice in the morning to get a walk in. So that's what I tend to do.
Yeah, I also tend to walk. I'm coming from a bit of a different perspective because where I'm from in Portland, there is a lot of public transportation. So when I came here, I was like, whoa. There are ghost buses and late buses. It's not the best, but you do have public transportation, and it is relatively reliable. Just sometimes if you're trying to get out towards the edge of the city, you might run into some troubles. But the train, I love the train if you're going up to Dublin, or to, another major city. The train is a great way to travel, and the bus does work. I just have a bit of a grudge against the buses. And like was just said in the chat, getting a Leap card is a really great option because it's super cheap for students. Like it's less than €1 or something. So definitely do get a Leap card.
Yes, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Students' Union have a big push in the first week or so of semester to register for a student leap card. So there will be a place on campus where you can do that, and then you don't even have to worry about, speaking to anybody. You just kind of tap it, right? Is that how it works? Am I outing myself for not being anywhere close to being a student anymore?
It's the leave card you have to apply online now. So it's
Okay.
leavecard.ie. Um, but if it's kind of unusual, if you're under 19 or if you're over 25, you have to pick it up from the Students' Union. But if you're between those two ages, they post it out. So I know it's a little bit random, but
Either way, it's a really good thing to have. And yeah, it's super helpful. And what else? And I would also say, just to kind of orient anybody who's maybe not quite as used to public transportation, within Ireland, I mean, you can really get anywhere that you need to go much more quickly than I think we expect here in the United States. So, we were talking, I think I mentioned that one would need to go up to Dublin to do the immigration appointment that we touched on. That would consist, there are trains almost once an hour between Cork and Dublin, and it's about like maybe a 2.5 to 3 hour ride. So it's not too bad. And then same with the buses. There are several different regional buses that can get you up and back. Also with the airports, well, there is a small airport in Cork that is absolutely lovely, and you can go to a lot of different European destinations via the Cork airport. There aren't any American destinations currently. So when you're traveling into the country, you'll either need to come into Dublin, Shannon, or connect via into Cork via London or Amsterdam. If you're coming in through Dublin, there are a few different bus services that will take you direct from the Dublin airport down to Cork. So it's very easy to navigate. It's generally cost effective. And from my perspective, having traveled for the better part of nearly 15, 16 years, I've always felt fairly safe enough and never had any issues. So I find like coming from the American perspective, even though like like you, Keely, sometimes I have my moments. I would have to say public transportation is a bit easier to handle on the Irish side of the pond than it can be over here. Um, Excellent. Okay, let me see if there are any questions around things like that. Maybe Keely and Olivia, I guess maybe what I would ask next is, for the students, like you were in the shoes of the students who are with us today, a few years ago. What advice would you give to them about how to embark on this journey, or kind of as they're transitioning from life in high school here in the US um, over to life in Cork, Ireland, UCC?
I can go. I think I was very overwhelmed my first, I would say even month, because I did not do first year at UCC. I transferred into second year, so everyone in my program already knew each other. I was in a new country, like it's a very overwhelming thing at first, but I think reaching out to other people in your course and trying to really put yourself out there is really hard and it seems scary, but it's honestly, it was way easier than I thought it was. Um, I just found amazing people in my course, and even though I was one of the only new people in the course going into second year, they were very, very welcoming, and I've been so, I don't know, I felt really supported by them, and I think, yeah, just if you have any hobbies, like I love to play rugby, so um, that was really nice. And I think just trying to put yourself out there, try new things. I've loved traveling around Ireland. It's a beautiful, beautiful country, and it's, yeah, it's been an amazing experience. I'm so, so happy here. Like, I think about compared to myself the first year in America. It's a huge difference, and I love the city. I love my friends and I love my course. Sorry, my voice is going.
Yeah, I definitely second both of those things. Don't get so busy that you forget to travel and go see places because Cork is great, but there are also a lot of other great places to go see. You can take a day trip up to Dublin, there's a lot of stuff to see there. Or if you like nature, there's a lot of nature. Also, I just say get involved with clubs and societies because if you have an interest, there is a club or a society for it. I mean, you'd be shocked at some of the the niche stuff. There's a Simpsons society for people who really like The Simpsons. I didn't know that until recently. Um, but yeah, it's a wonderful way to meet people outside of your course, especially if your course is big and it's kind of intimidating to go up and talk to people sometimes. Um, yeah, just get involved and go see what there is around campus, around the city, because there is always stuff to do.
And I would also add to that, there are, and in addition to all the fantastic student clubs and societies, which I've heard from so many different students, it's the best way to meet people from across the university because, your classes, we don't have a liberal arts education the way that the US would have it. So, you are primarily going to be with students from your specific academic interest level or interest topic. So it's a great way to meet students from all over the place, both academically and geographically. But also too, there are so many supports in place to help you. So, while we are a large university, there's over 24,000 students altogether. We have the resources to make you feel like you're the only one. So whatever it is that you need, whether it's advice for specific to international students, that's where you can literally walk down to our office, and there'll always be somebody around to speak to, and we're around. During orientation and things like that. Or if you need, maybe some academic supports, we have a fantastic writing center on campus that will help you kind of focus on your academic writing. While they can't maybe help you generate the content, they can help you with the structure. the access office, if you have a learning difference or physical disability, you can register with them to get the supports that you need to be successful. And those are just a few different examples. So I guess like one piece of advice that I would give is stay in touch, like ask. If you don't know the answer to something, it's not on you. We are here to help you. So as long as you talk to us and reach out, we can help you work through whatever it is. So don't be shy. We love to have a chat. Um, so let's see. I would say so. We're coming up on our time. I don't know, Olivia and Keely, are there any other kind of parting words, or kind of like we'll think of this as our kind of like Zen yoga moment, like the end of our yoga class, like what you want to leave everybody with as they continue on your journey? What would your last concluding thought be? And Keely, you go first this time.
Okay. Okay. I will go first. First of all, about the supports, I just want to say something about that real quick. I'm registered with Disability Services at UCC, and it's very good. It like they were super great when I reached out to them. There were a couple, paperwork things I had to do, but they were very, very helpful in that regard. Also, student counseling, if you're even just struggling with a bit of stress or the transition to an entirely new country, it's normal. Student counseling is a great resource. Also, we have therapy dogs that are adorable and are around campus all the time. But as far as my parting words, I'd just like to say it goes quickly. So enjoy it. Enjoy your first year when you might not have as much stuff to do. Enjoy your second year when you get more comfortable with it. And enjoy your third year when you're stressed with all your final projects. But by then, Cork has really become a second home. So just embrace it and don't let it pass you by.
That was great. I don't know if I can follow that, but I agree with everything that you said. And I think, yeah, I really think exploring has been a huge thing. Like I've been all over Ireland now. I still have a lot of places I'd like to go, but just try and get out as much as you can. It's so easy to kind of fall into a schedule and a routine where you're in your room. But I think it's so important to try to reach out to new people because the thing is, everyone's kind of starting new as well. So, I think it's it's really difficult, but it's also there's a lot of other people out there looking for friends as well. So I think reaching out to people, finding new places, and I think it's honestly been the best decision for me moving here. And, there's just a lot of support. Everyone is so kind, and I've just had an amazing experience so far. And I can't wait for the next 2 years. So I'm excited about that. And if you have any questions or you want to talk to me, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to just give me an email. I think my email will be somewhere, so feel free to reach out because I know it's scary. It seems so scary, but it's way less scary when you have people to support you.
Thank you both so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's so nice to hear kind of what your perspective is from where you're at and kind of how your journey has changed. Colette and Ruth, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up for the night?
Just to say that I guess the university is super friendly, and as Olivia and Keely said, you bump into loads of classmates or people that you live with, and also the academics are really approachable and friendly, and they're there to help you succeed, and they really take pride in seeing you succeed, and they're there to help you and make any connections that you might want for your future career as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you on campus, and I know some names there, so happy to help with any questions. And yeah.
Same, just to echo what Colette has said, it's a very supportive university and we're all there for you to support you on your journey. So this is, I suppose, the very first meeting with a lot of you. So I'll be doing a lot of pre-arrival workshops and webinars with you before you come, starting for you around July. And we'll have loads of events for you on campus as well. And if you need anything or have any questions in the meantime, you can reach me at internationalsupport@ucc.ie.
Awesome. Well, thank all of you for joining us tonight. Those of you who are over on the Irish side of the pond, especially, I know it's quite late, so we especially appreciate your time. And I do just want to say, if there's anything else that I can do to help you, so you'll be getting an email from me with the resources that we discussed tonight. And also, if you'd like to book in an individual meeting with me just to discuss anything further, or if you think of any new questions, there'll be a link to do so in my email signature. So with that, I'll say thank you one more time. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. But take care and good night.